Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. I'm Jessie Milestone, and today we're here to talk about a rather troubling matter. I don't know if you follow my channel. If you have, you've probably figured out that I'm a big champion of free speech. You may not have figured many other things out about my political or social leanings, because everyone seems to think I'm something different. But there is one thing that unequivocally, undebatably, I believe in the freedom of speech, and I believe that both the left and the right are working hard to try to take that away from us. We lost a free speech battle hardcore yesterday. This happened in Scotland. I don't know if any of you guys have heard about this. There's a YouTube user named Count Dankula. Well, he's Scottish, so it probably sounds something more like Count Dankula. That's my terrible Scottish accent for you. You're welcome. And this YouTube user, about a year ago, put up a video intended as a joke that was taken the wrong way because no one has a sense of humor anymore, and we'll get more into that in a minute. But basically, the important thing you need to know is that this person, for an online joke, essentially, a piece of arguably satire, that he put online, for this, he has now been found guilty of a hate crime and guilty of being grossly offensive. Did you know that's a thing? Did you know that that you can be guilty of being grossly offensive? That's a which makes me thinking about my own life, man. Like, if I lived in Scotland, I know a lot of people who probably should be arrested on that grounds. But this is not Scotland. People can't get arrested in America, unfortunately, for being grossly offensive, because I think if they could, our president would probably be in jail and not the president. Anyway, less about that. More about this ridiculous thing that happened. And that's, I mean, the hate crime it's almost worse even talking about that, because what this person did is so far from an actual hate crime that it's absurd. But then, like, being able to be jailed for being grossly offensive, I don't even know which one of these things is more ridiculous. So let's talk a little bit, because you may have your own opinions on this. Let's talk a bit about what Count Dankula did to get himself in this position. And by the way, he's getting sentenced next month. He could face up to 6 months in jail for offending people, basically, because it's now illegal to hurt people's feelings. So what he did, he took a video, and he starts out the video by saying, this is my girlfriend's dog, and she's always going on and on and on about how adorable and cute the wee little thing is. So I, as a joke, wanted to turn him into the least cute thing I could think of, a Nazi. So right there from that statement, you know this guy is not like a Nazi, a neo-Nazi, a Nazi supporter or whatever, because in his mind, the least cute thing in the world is a Nazi. So right there, let's just chew on that. So what does he do? Well, you see a video of the little pug with his paws up on a computer watching, videos of a Hitler rally. And then you hear the voice of Count Dankula saying, gas the Jews. And every time he does, the dog gets excited and perks up, and he's like, yes, I would love to go gas the Jews, thank you. And he does that a bunch of times. The dog will be sleeping, he'll be like, wake up, and the dog won't wake up, and then he'll be like, gas the Jews, and the dog's like, yes, I want to gas the Jews. And then he has another part where he says, Sieg Heil, and the dog lifts his paw, like he's heiling the Führer. It goes on, and then at some point in the video, he just interjects to say, like, I'm not racist, I just really wanted to piss my girlfriend off. Video carries on, it ends with a little freeze frame of the dog with the really poorly animated Hitler stash drawn on him, and then a couple swastikas in the corner. So that's the video. And because of this obviously humorous video, like, obviously this is intended as comedy and not as, like, propagating Hitler youth. This person has now been convicted of a crime and is facing jail time. And of course his lawyers argued that this was comedy, this was humor, was not intended to be offensive. And it was ruled that we don't give a crap because people got mad about it. So I guess stand-up comedy is not a valid profession in Scotland anymore, because I mean, who's going to want to do that? Who's going to want to pursue comedy now in the UK if you might get up in an open mic, say something that someone finds grossly offensive, and then the next day you're facing jail time for it? I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. It's fucking absurd. All right, so let's get down to, like, is this video offensive? I guess, like, if you're really pathetically thin-skinned. I'm Jewish, by the way. I don't know if we've covered that ground. I know we have. It's at other points. And I was 0% offended by this video. I thought it was hilarious. Now there's some stupid people out there being like, oh, well, I could see, like, but the amount of time and effort it takes to get a dog to do these things, that seems like a little more than a harmless prank. Like, have you ever owned a dog? Do you know how easy it is to teach a smart dog how to do things? And do you know how easy it is to get a dumb dog to get excited about things? Like, one of my last dogs, he just got really excited when you said, what do you want? You said, what do you want? And he was like, I want everything. Because for him, it was like, what do you want? Do you want to go outside? Yes, I want to go outside. I want to go for a walk. You said, you want to go for a walk? He gets super excited. And then you would go, do you want to go to the moon? And he was like, yes, I want to go to the moon. I'm so excited about the idea of going to the moon. And that took zero effort and zero training. So this guy wanted to make an effort. All he had to do is say, gas the Jews in the same tone of voice that he says, go for a walk. You know, maybe do the two of them together a few times. And then just start saying that. And now all of a sudden the dog's popping up. Same thing with the paw. Let's say that the dog, that's not something the dog had already been taught to do with another voice command. Well, that's fine. You hold up a treat. The dog's going to want to reach for the treat probably. Every time he does that, you reward him and give him the treat and praise him and keep saying see Kyle over and over again. And voila, in like half an hour, you go see Kyle and the dog lifts his paw. And let's also be clear, like this would obviously be more the complicated trick that the dog does, and this happens less frequently throughout the video and might even have all been filmed at once. So this is the kind of thing that, again, this guy just immediately gets this dog to get this response from him and does it a couple of times. Like, who knows? Maybe he even just gets the dog doing it and cuts his voice back in over later. You don't even know that. Like, this was not like this guy sat down for months and months and months training this dog to do these things, like training this dog to be anti-Semitic, which is just ridiculous. Yeah, if he was doing this with a child, sure, that's kind of fucked up, and I'm not going to be that happy about it. But this is a dog. The dog doesn't know what it's doing. The dog's like, I got excited because someone made something sound exciting. Because somebody said this thing, and every time he has said this thing for the past, like, 5 minutes, I've gotten a treat. So he said it again, and I get a treat. Hooray. That's where the dog's at on this. And, like, for me, as a Jewish person, the only thing about this video that makes me go, a little bit, are just the swastikas at the end, and they're also in the thumbnail. I personally just don't like seeing swastikas. They make me a little uncomfortable. I'd rather those not be there. Am I gonna cry and get someone arrested over it? No, I'm just gonna maybe leave a comment and be like, hey bro, love the video, thought it was super funny, swastikas, maybe a bit too far. That's it. That's all I'm going to do, because I'm a rational person, and I can handle my feelings, and I can go, ooh, that made me uncomfortable, and not go, I have to now attack you and kill you because you made me uncomfortable, which is what the fuck people do today. Every time you challenge somebody about their beliefs, every time, and this, again, right and left, like, you're not exempt people sitting on the alt-right going, yeah, look at those snowflakes. You guys are just as bad, because the second someone's like, I believe in firmer gun control, you're like, no, you're anti-American. How are you any fucking different or any fucking better than the people who hear the word rape and go, I'm so triggered? You're all the fucking same. You're all fucking stupid. And that's what pisses me off about this debate too, is like, you can't even have opinions anymore without being labeled and put into a box. I mean, for sure, there are going to be people who listen to me say this who are super conservative, super alt-right, and maybe even racist or anti-Semitic, who are going to be like, yeah, look at you go, championing the rights of white people. And there's also going to be plenty of people who watch this video who are going to go, oh, well, if you believe in free speech, obviously you're a Nazi, because in our minds we have equated freedom of speech now as, like, freedom of speech has for some reason become like a right-wing or a conservative standpoint. Like, that's just freedom. This is not like the gun control issue. People don't die when you speak your mind. You can't just take this one away from us because it makes you feel uncomfortable. It's not the same thing as having a deep debate over people dying in school shootings versus people's inherent need to feel like they need to protect themselves in their country. It's not the same goddamn debate. There is no rational argument about taking speech away from people. The world is a difficult and uncomfortable place, and if you can't deal with that, live in a fucking bubble, all right? People should not be getting arrested because they made you feel uncomfortable. And you know what? If it's such an issue for you, if Nazis trigger you so much, when you see a video titled "Mate, Your Dog's a Nazi," don't click on it. Stuff that says Nazi, don't fucking click on it. Don't go looking to ruin people's lives because you're too goddamn sensitive. And it's not like this is a novel concept. What is this guy doing? He is clearly satirizing the idea of Nazism. Like, no one in their right mind is like, oh, I mean, first of all, no one who is a neo-Nazi is in their right mind, but let's say you are a neo-Nazi, right? You're not going around being like, how can I be a better Hitler Youth? I will train my dog to seek Heil. That would be the best thing I could do to show my German pride. Like, no! No one's fucking doing that. That's idiotic. This is obviously satire. It is obviously a joke. If you think it's in poor taste, then fine. Don't laugh at it. Don't watch it. Don't repost it. Make some asinine comment and then go cry about it in a fucking corner. But this is not the first time we've satirized Nazis in media, in much more popular media. The producers, which, by the way, also, as we go back and talk about these things, these are, like, in time, much closer to Nazism, because that's the thing, like, most people today as time goes, this is what happens. I don't know if you know what happens. As time goes on, old people get older and then they die. So where we're at right now, there are very, very few people left who actually fought in World War II. There are few people left who actually underwent the Holocaust and survived it, etc. Obviously, there's nobody left who didn't survive it because that sucks. But yeah, there are still plenty of people whose parents maybe were victims or suffered through it, and they may have some sensitivities about it, but they didn't go through it themselves. Like, you can't say they have PTSD from it. Which, by the way, I had somebody once claim that they had PTSD because their grandma was in the Holocaust. Like, fuck off, bitch. Anyway, no, like, nobody, not that many, and honestly, the people who probably did survive and have PTSD from it are not watching YouTube, and if they are, they're not clicking on a goddamn video that has the word Nazi in it. But anyway, like I said, Nazis have been satirized in the media before, notably in The Producers, a wonderful musical / film in which you have the song Springtime for Hitler, right? Springtime for Hitler and Germany. Winter for Poland and France. Like, that's kind of a brutal song. And you have a character in this who's, like, obviously still a Nazi, who's run away to America and is pretending to be all like, yes, go America, so you don't find me out and kill me. Like, that is, I mean, that character is the same level of ridiculous Nazi that this pug is, right? Or you have Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, where you have a character whose hand is a Nazi, who he uncontrollably heils the Fuhrer all of the time. That's the same level of ridiculous, the same type of satire that that's happening in this video, right? But on a much wider scale, being seen by many, many more people. And you don't hear people being like, oh my God, ban this movie, jail the people who made it, because it has a comical view of Nazis, because someone has to play a Nazi. Like, we should probably put the guy in jail who agreed to be cast as a Nazi and pretend to be a Nazi. What a horrible person. It's obviously a hate crime. Well, no, it's not, because he was just playing a role. Well, that doesn't matter because he looks like a Nazi and people are offended. So clearly none of that should matter. None of the circumstances or reasoning behind it should matter. We should just go throw that guy in fucking jail. That's what you're saying. But this is the problem, right? People don't even understand satire anymore. They are just so out of touch. And it's like, when I've even done stuff, plenty of my videos, as you know, are highly satirical, and people get pissed off all the time. They're like, I can't tell if you're joking. I'm like, that's because you're dumb. Satire is not supposed to be super on the nose. You should obviously tell that I'm joking. Wow, I'm being way over the top. It's supposed to be subtle. So much satire, like the book Utopia, for example. Old-fashioned book, right? And this is the whole joke of the thing. Everyone uses utopia to mean like paradise. The word utopia literally means no place. Like, this is a very subtle and clever deconstruction of British society at the time, right? Plenty of people who read the book did not realize it was satire. And that's sort of the point of the art. The clever, the educated, the intellectual, the people who know how to read between the lines and read deeper, they get it and they appreciate it. And unfortunately, there are just so goddamn few of those people now that satire is just going away because no one knows how to take a joke and everyone's too goddamn sensitive. I mean, look, that was like early Stephen Colbert in the Colbert Reports, right? His whole thing was he would satirize politics by being by embodying some like ridiculous stereotype of what a conservative person was, what a typical conservative person was, or an extremely conservative person. And he was doing this mostly like taking sound bites, taking ideas and perspectives that were being, portrayed in the media, and he just put them all into one person. And there were some people that he dealt with who like didn't really know what was going on. And I mean, at this point, right, left-wing people would go back and watch that and be like, I'm so offended by Stephen Colbert. He's such an alt-right bastard. Like, because they wouldn't fucking get it, because they don't know what fucking satire is anymore. Anyway, spread the word about this, because this is terrifying and this is awful, and there should be justice for Count Dankula, and we should all, I mean, he's basically becoming a martyr for this cause right now, which is fucked up, and he should not have to go through that. But let him know you're out there supporting him. Let him know you're thinking about him. A lot of people are reposting his video, which is another funny thing, right? Because everyone's so like, oh my God, whatever. Like, if you had just not gotten offended and cried about it and made this whole thing a whole issue, like, yeah, it went viral, a bunch of people would have watched it, and then no one would be talking about it now. It was a fucking year ago. And now because you, stupid person who got offended, did this, you caused this to happen, now you have people left and right reposting the video, making reference to it, talking about it, driving more traffic to it, having more people see these things that you found grossly offensive. So if you actually cared about people and wanted to protect them from this thing you found grossly offensive, you should just let it fucking go. Report it on YouTube, whatever, against their community guideline standards, and YouTube would have watched and been like, this is dumb, this is not offensive, cry about it. And don't fucking go ruin people's lives because you're offended by things. And by the way, you're ruining people's lives who are as sensitive as you, because now people who never heard about this and never would have seen the video are going to be watching it and crying in a corner just like you are. So fuck off and stop that. Guys, really, seriously, look up stuff about this case. Talk about it. Bring it up. Make your own videos about it. Share videos you like about it. Like, put the word out there, because these are the slippery slopes, right? These are the little bits. We let this stuff go. We're okay with it. Now suddenly half of the UK is in jail for speaking their minds, and that trickles over into our country. And now you have people jumping on that bandwagon thinking it's okay to throw somebody in jail for committing a hate crime, which, like, come on. Also, another funny tidbit. People called this guy both racist and anti-Semitic, and I'm like, pick one. You can't charge him for being racist and anti-Semitic. Like, if you decide the Jews are an ethnicity, he's being anti-Semitic. If you decide they're a race, he's being racist. It doesn't work both ways. Anyway, that's all I got to say about this. Please let me know what you think, and we'll talk soon.